Hey guys, this is Brian with Solar Permit Now and Draft Permit Now, and I just wanted to do a quick video for you of how to fill out our checklist in order to complete a project. So this is a blank checklist that you'll be filling out, just a one-page blank checklist of all of the information that we need in order to complete a draft for permit. This is for a solar plan specifically. If you have any other type of plan, it's a lot easier. You just do 3 bullet points, statement of work of the task, and then sketch out a photo of how you would like me to draft it, and then we can go on that and draft a project for you. But for the solar projects, you see we ask a little bit more information, and so I'd like to go through this blank checklist with you. And then this is an example checklist. We'll run through the example checklist of how it should be filled out, all of the information in the sketch down below, and then I'll show you where we use this information on the exact project. This is an example project. So I'll provide you with all 3 of these PDFs so that you have them. This is the example project. We will draft for you within 48 hours, but first we need to go and we need a full checklist and layout filled out exactly like this example checklist. So you can actually do this on the website, Solar Permit Now, and I'm going to do something exactly similar for Draft Permit Now. So stamp for structural now, no, we're not doing that. Stamp for electrical now, no, we're not doing that. Draft plans for any state now. So this same checklist is right here on the Solar Permit Now website or the Draft Permit Now website. And I try to keep it to just 1 page. You can take this on your site visits and fill out all the information on your site visit while you're right there at the house, and you submit the plan, you submit the checklist to me at the bottom of the page, and then we can pick it up and draft the plan set for you, okay? We'll be using this compass, but I'm going to shift now to, sometimes it's easier just for people to fill out the 1 page. So this is a blank page, so let's get started. So the first piece of information you'll notice is the customer's name. The owner information, this is required by the jurisdiction, the city or county or little township. They will need the exact owner's name that is on the energy bill, specifically the owner, the project address. The contact information of the owner, I believe, is optional, but some companies like to include that just in case. And then the second piece of information is the installer's name, the license number, expiration date, installer address, phone number, email. You might this is required. I'll show you where this is on the plan set. So on the right hand side of the plan set, we will be needing to put the customer's name, all the information right there. That's the project address, and then this is the installer or contractor's address and information. So and then the contractor will need to sign. If there is no contractor, you can just put owner builder. So this means the owner of the home is doing the project and going to install the project. So if there is no contractor, just put owner builder. If there is a contractor, then put the license and installer information. Sorry. The next piece of information is we have the stringing. There should be a headliner there called stringing, but this is, how do you want the solar project to be strung? Do you want it? This is going from left to right, from the rooftop all the way down through to the main service electrical panel, the MSP. So coming down from the roof, you have the solar panels, and it goes into an inverter. I'll show you on the plan set here. So the solar panels are on the roof. I like to show this on the electrical page. So the solar panels are on the roof. They come down to the inverter. If you have a box type inverter, sometimes you're using microinverters that are actually on the solar panels, in which case the stringing might be different. So this is called the inverter. the solar edge inverter sometimes. So there's different brand names of inverters, different makes, models. So we will need that information. But how do you want this strung? Do you want an inverter? This one has a meter required by that local jurisdiction, and then an AC utility disconnect switch. This is a big switch on the wall to turn off the power in case of a fire. It's on the exterior of the building to turn off that solar system. And then the main service electrical panel, and then from the main service electrical panel it goes out to the utility meter. Okay, so that's a typical stringing for that jurisdiction that's required. But how do you want the stringing? Do you want inverter, PV meter, AC disconnect, and then the service panel? Do you want an inverter, AC disconnect first, and then the PV meter and service panel? Or do you want an inverter, no meter, it just goes inverter, AC disconnect, main service panel? Or is there other type of stringing? Sometimes, you might require a line side tap. If the system is very big, sometimes the larger solar systems, they exceed the PV breaker that's allowed to go in this main service panel. So sometimes they tap right into the lines between the main service panel and the utility meter. Okay, so how do you want the stringing? That's what that section is. And then we move on to home information, the actual structural information. The roof type. Is it a composite roof? Is it a tile roof? Is it a metal roof? Is it shake roof? You can actually see on our example plan set. For instance, this one is a asphalt shingle roof. Okay? It's an asphalt shingle roof, and you can see right here that looks like an asphalt shingle roof. But what type of roof is it? The next is the roof tilt. Roof A. This one happens to be on several roofs, so maybe the roof tilt is different. So I give you option for 3 different roof types there you can fill in. And so the roof tilt I have in another tab over here. The roof pitch. A typical pitch is 412. Well, what's the degree angle? We're looking for the degree angle. Roof pitch is rise over run. So 4 foot high over 12 foot long. We do have a typical, I can show you a typical degrees calculation. I thought I had it here somewhere. Let's see. I thought I had the typical degrees chart. Let's see. I think, is it here? Okay. Here's a roof pitch diagram. You can see a 412 roof looks 18.43 degrees, 512, 612. You know, in the snowier places, you get the 45 degrees or 40 degrees. So the snow is easier falling off the roof. So this is a good guide for you. You can put the degrees. We were looking for the degrees there. So that's roof tilt. And then roof azimuth. Which compass direction is this roof heading? So this roof looks like it's facing west. The lower roof here looks like it's facing west. If up is true north, that lower roof looks like it's facing west. So we go to our, where are we going? Here we go. So we're looking for roof tilt. We look for the compass direction. True north is up on Google Maps. And so that roof looks like it's going to 270 degrees. That lower roof right there. This roof looks like it's going directly south, or a little bit, maybe 180, 184, something like that. It's more as exact as possible. But those are those 2 roofs. And the third roof looks like it's also going to the 270 degrees. So we're looking for the degree compass direction that roof faces. Okay, so that's that piece of information. Roof A, roof B. If there's other roofs, you can list them there. Rafter size. So those roofs have rafters. Typical size is 2x4. Typical spacing is those rafters or trusses are 24 inches on center. That's another piece of information. Are they rafters or trusses? But sometimes that can get too detailed. but some jurisdictions do require that we indicate rafters or trusses because the structural dynamics is different. So rafter size, how big are those rafters? 2 by 4, 4 by 12, or 2 by 6, what is the structure? That's where I asked the structure. Then moving on, what is the equipment information? The actual solar panel, the make and model number. We need the make and model number of that solar panel and how many. Inverter make and model number. If there's, I'll show you where we use that on the plan set. Because the make and model number, I can go in here, this make and model, this is a HIT photovoltaic module N25K or the N320K. We use this information and I need to see the exact model number, so I grab these correct numbers to do the calculations with. Okay, the voltage for the N325K is different than the voltage and current being kicked off for the N320K. So I need the make and model number exact of these solar panels, the make and model number of this inverter. You can see there's several types of inverters. Please tell me which one so we can do the correct calculations. And then we asked for the make and model number of the attachment to the roof. This looks like a flash foot 2 attachment. The flash foot 1 is different. It's an L shape. That looks like a flash foot 1 attachment. And then this is the rail that the panels sit on. This looks like the XR10 rail. See, there's several. There's an XR10, there's XR100, XR1000 for the big ground mounts. They're a lot beefier structure. So we would like to know the make and model number of each one of those pieces of equipment. And then lastly, down here is the electrical information. The main circuit breaker rating and the bus rating. Typically on residential, the main service panel voltage is 120/240, but I'm going to show you main circuit breaker rating and the bus rating. So let me show you that really quick. For that, we need to look at a main service electrical panel for your house. This is what it will typically look like. And so the main circuit breaker is up top here. I need to know the rating of that. Sometimes it's right on that switch. Sometimes that switch is at the bottom or in the middle. And then the main bus rating is usually on this sticker here. It will show the rating of the bus. Now what is the bus? There's the main circuit breaker at that top, that blue switch. The bus is the metal bars that are the breakers, each one of the breakers to the house actually connects to, and it stops the flow of energy in case of surge. So what is that metal bus, that metal rail rated? See the neutral bus bar? We need to know, is it rated 100 amps, 125 amps, 200 amps? Those are typical for residential. What is that main circuit breaker rated? 200 amps, 100 amps, 125. We need to know that information so that we can do some calculations. So that is the full checklist. Owner information, installer information, stringing, the structural information, make and model and quantity of the equipment, and then the electrical information. Okay? And we go away and give you a project. Okay, there's one filled out. This is a typical checklist filled out. Owner information, installer information. They want that stringing. Roof A, roof B, tilt and azimuth. Rafter spacing is 2 by 6 at 24 inches on center. Panel module number, make and model, count. Inverter, make and model and count. You're using this type of optimizer on that panel. The standoff attachment, the structural, flash foot 2, rail attachment, XR100, electrical information, main circuit breaker 200 amp, bus rating 200 amp, 120 volt, 240 volt. We also will need a layout of how you would like the panels to be oriented. And please mark where the utility meter is, happens to be here. Most of the time it's on the house, and where you would like the other equipment to be located. It looks like they want the main service panel located there and the inverter right next to the main service panel. So this is an example of one full checklist ready to be submitted to us so that we can draft the project for permit. Now let's take one last look at the draft again, what you will receive with this. We will draft, we'll give a cover page here with the system information. Second page is the site plan. We'll draft the house to scale and locate all of the information, all of the equipment, the full property line. The third page is structural information. Where are those penetrations going to exist? We draw the rafters in. We do this load calculation. We show the details. This load calculation, it's a preliminary load calculation, very simple load calculation. And this is the elevated view of how it looks on the house. And then some general notes. And then the third page is the electrical single line diagram, the electrical wiring diagram page. Some cities require the 3-line diagram. This is a single line diagram. And you see we take that information of each one of those data sheets and we do some calculations here. So we see overall calculation. And then we have the 120% rule calculation to verify that that breaker is valid. It cannot exceed 120%. So the sum of the main circuit breaker and your solar breaker cannot exceed 120% of the rating of that main service panel bus. So that's how we calculate that and verify that. So you get the site plan, the structural page, and the electrical page all drafted, and then you get all the data sheets for that make and model number of each one of those pieces of equipment. And lastly, you'll receive the placard page, the warning placard page. You'll need to print these out and put them on the physical house. And that is a full drafted plan for permit, ready to go. Permit guaranteed. Okay? So thank you for joining me on how to fill out this blank checklist to submit a project in order for us to draft a permit. If any questions, please contact us at 619-259-0441, or my personal number is 858-405-5845. We'd love to have a WhatsApp video call with you and service your needs, give you great value. Have a great day. Thank you.